Hello everyone and welcome back to game week one, game day one of the 25-26 Slater and Gordon Championship. The quality of football we've had so far has been outstanding. Every fixture today has shown just how competitive and unpredictable this division can be. And next up, it's GBG Saracens, the league's newcomers, against the Premiership mainstays, fighting in the Championship, Nottinghamshire. Saracens began their campaign with a 3-1 defeat to Norwich City, a result that highlighted both their attacking threat and their defensive vulnerabilities, something that I'm sure Nottinghamshire will be looking to capitalise on. And Nottinghamshire, on the other hand, could not have asked for a better start. A commanding 6-0 victory over Hull and East Yorkshire that underlined their experience and their intent to bounce straight back to the Premiership. My name is Ryan Sipple. I'm delighted to be joined on commentary with Rosie Hodgson. Rosie, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Looking forward to this one. Looking forward to watching both of these two for the first time this season.
I've seen both of these teams actually this morning, and Saracens are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The leadership under John Dixon and Tom have been amazing, but Nottinghamshire, who were my pick to win the league, I think are gonna seal the deal.
Yeah, you would certainly make Nottinghamshire favourites based on relative experience and expectation, but there's some young, exciting players in this GBG Saracens squad. So let's see how that materialises across the game. Lee Brennan is the central referee and blows the whistle to get proceedings underway. Avery Basing-Ball just firing it up the court. So they've got Tommy Mickelson in goal, the number 10. They have Aaron Ebanks. They have Basing-Ball. And
Tommy
Mickelson on the right wing. Nottinghamshire, very familiar, tried and tested formation and lineup. Sees Matt Hadfield starting goal, Sam Langley in the centre, Leighton G, and the league's current top goal scorer, Kieran Wade, with a remarkable 4-goal haul in their earlier victory.
It was a really good match for Kieran Wade. All of Nottingham, to be fair. The standard of play this weekend has been absolutely immense.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. We obviously sat down 2 days ago, Rosie, to predict potential outcomes of this Championship division, and already I think we're going to be embarrassed on certain selections and picks. People wanting to prove us wrong, people wanting to prove us right, but one thing is for certain, the quality, as Leighton G has an easy shot at goal, brilliantly defended by Avery Basing-Ball.
Just slightly wrong angle there to slot that in the back post. If not, we could be looking at 1-0 Nottinghamshire. Sam Langley, though, has been conducting the centre game brilliantly. Just so athletic in his chair. Able to swing the ball and spread it wide across the pitch.
Yeah, you selected him as your potential standout, didn't you, of the division as a whole? So no doubt he'll be looking to impart his influence.
At the minute he's living up to my expectations, which is good, but he has got some fierce competition, as I just watched Norwich play, and Michael Coleman is on fire.
Yeah, I mean, we did our 1 through 12 as to where we thought teams would finish, and both of us had Norwich finishing 8th. And I can tell you now, based on what I've seen in the opening 2 games, Norwich will far surpass 8th place in the division. They have been spectacular. Some of the football they have been playing is unlike anything I have seen before.
Is it too late to change my answers? Tommy Mickelson taking the goal kick. It's gone straight to Kieran Wade and is just overturned the goal. Kieran Wade, they had a prime opportunity to make that 1-0, but took the ball wide. Another goal kick for GBG Saracens with Tommy Mickelson taking the kick.
Yeah, excited to see Tommy Mickelson, Avery Basing-Ball, Ollie Grafton. Such a young squad.
Extremely young, but I like a young squad with the people like Aaron Ebanks as well, who came back out of retirement to play for GBG Saracens. He used to play for West Bromwich Albion Frossall back in the day and used to be one of the most fiercest competitors on the pitch. I'm looking forward to seeing him spread his knowledge amongst these young players and grow them into remarkable players.
Yeah, he's almost the experience in the inexperience, and that could prove really valuable across the entirety of the season. I know he was a standout in their playoff fixtures, whereby they saw off competition from the likes of Greenbank and others. So yeah, really important player, as Basing-Ball just pushes it into the centre. Leighton G.
I'm not sure if that was going to be a 2-on-1 call or a contact call. There was contact on the back wheel, and then there was also a sandwich of a 2-on-1 between Grafton and Ebanks. But we've gone for a corner kick on the referee's whistle.
Yeah, to be taken by Leighton G. Strange setup from Sam Langley. There's no angle to shoot, so I can only suspect he's looking for that screen back to Kieran Wade, but it's going to need accuracy and timing. It doesn't sadly have that, so Kieran Wade has to drop back a little bit to receive it at the first phase. Strikes it at the second, putting together some nice combinations on the edge, and Tommy Mickelson happy to let that roll wide of the right-hand post. Probably, as we expected, Rosie, fairly dominant in terms of attacking pressure from Nottingham, but as of 5 minutes in, good stuff defensively from GBG Saracens.
I think they'll be happy with their performance so far. If they can go into half-time 0-0, they will be pleased as punch and take that as a win. Sam Langley now battling out with Basing-Ball.
Yeah, breaks away, so Matt Hadfield called into defensive actions for the first time this fixture. Live on Court A currently, Nottingham Forest trail Altrincham by 2-0. That looks like they're off the mark now. Have to say, having watched Nottingham Forest earlier today against title hopefuls Teesside Steel, they were brilliant despite a 3-1 defeat. The team both of us predicted to finish bottom of this 12-team division. Already they're looking to prove us wrong, and whilst the score lines haven't been favourable, the performances have, and that will tell across the season. Once again, Tommy Mickelson, a sensational save, reads the game so well.
Extremely young, one of the youngest players in the league. Kieran Wade, though, then I would not expect him to fire the ball into goal, or towards goal, as fiercely and aggressively as they did. Really good play from Nottingham.
That's nice from Avery Basing-Ball. Looked like a certain chance for Leighton G, but he just reversed to guide it out of danger. Is still going to have another chance. Kieran Wade strikes it slightly too condensed, so the 2-on-1 goes in favour of GBG Saracens. But Kieran Wade has almost emerged as a potential top goal scorer out of nowhere. I'll have to look as to his tally across the 24-25 season in the Premiership, but I would say with a high degree of certainty that he's almost surpassed the tally already in just one game. Yeah,
he scored an amazing goal today, and I turned to my dad and said that's in the running for goal of the season. Spun it just on the spot from a rebound, and it fired it into the back post. It was so visually pleasing to watch. I was jealous I didn't score it myself. Langley, Ski, Mickelson fires the ball out of danger, and a Nottinghamshire PFC kick-in.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the defensive organisation of GBG Saracens. Certainly when you're looking at that three-player wall of Grafton, Mickelson and Basing Ball, the average age between them must be about 14 or 15 years of age, and it's incredible when they're coming up against players with twice their age, with 3 times their experience.
It's really incredible to see the determination, though.
Nice from Tommy Mickelson. A lot of players would just opt to control that, but he flicked it out of danger, and in doing so wins a 2-on-1. It will be hard to sustain this level of attacking pressure for the entirety of the game, but 7.5 minutes in, very few faults. It's just if they can look to counter and break away and create something of their own, because Matt Hadfield's been little more than a spectator for the majority of the time we've played.
Indeed. Talking about chairs and players, just like to say a big thank you to MK Batteries for being our streaming partners this season for the 25-26 season. And there was a close call then on goal. Kieran Wade nearly scored past Mickelson.
Kieran Wade hesitating to engage that. Had he just driven onto it with his front bumper, would have certainly opened the scoring. So just some elements of decision making and accuracy letting them down, but that's relative, because this is very impressive passing and attacking play. It's almost a matter of when, not if, they find the breakthrough.
Nottinghamshire just need to keep calm. Looks like they're getting a little flustered and frustrated. If they keep their calmness, their collectiveness as a team, they could still be in a chance of scoring before half-time.
Aaron Ebanks and Ollie Grafton have just been so isolated. The defensive efforts, predominantly Basing Ball and Mickelson.
With a coach like John Dixon playing for FA Disability Cup champions Aspire PFC, there must be a lot of pressure on John Dixon's shoulders to make sure that his team does well, having the guidance of John Balding on his shoulder as well.
Yeah, I don't really see it like that. I think he shocked the watching community last season with the levels he produced, and now obviously foraying into coaching. We have to remember, I don't think there's any expectation on this young side. There'll be a significant grace period for them to establish themselves as a National League outfit, and assuming these players are kept together and they grow collectively, this could be a very bright team for the future. But
you can definitely see this GBG Saracens team are here for the long haul, coming in so young. They're going to be a team that hopefully stays together for a long time.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And if you are Goals Beyond Grass, kind of the charity that supports both of them, you're so encouraged. And he's just found the way through. Sam Langley, persistent, and just capitalised on a lapse in concentration. It's really unfortunate for the GBG Saracens defence, but I did say it was probably a matter of when, not if, they would find the breakthrough, and it happened to come just shy of 11 minutes in. But as I was saying, if you are part of Goals Beyond Grass and you're seeing GBG Knights, who absolutely stormed the championship season in 24-25, finishing as runners-up and of course earning promotion to the Premiership, and now you're seeing this young, hungry, talented squad looking to emulate that of GBG Knights. It only bodes well for the future.
A chance here now in the Nottinghamshire half for GBG Saracens. Basing Ball looking to take the kick in. Looks at Dixon for some mentoring. He's taking his time, make sure he gets that correct. Leighton Gee
is something that we discussed on Thursday, Rosie, and my question marks around Nottinghamshire, because their identity is rooted in their defensive stability, is how proficient and fluid they are in attacks. And I think that's telling a little bit here. They have to almost completely change the way they play, because whereas in Premiership games Sam Langley puts it out to Kieran Wade, they were happy to absorb pressure and look to break on the counter. In the Championship, they have to be really proactive. They need to command 2, 3, 4 goal leads if they're going to be title contenders or favourites. And that's showing a little bit here. Signs of frustration when they're struggling to break down a stubborn defence. They of course have the breakthrough, but you want to see them be a little bit more expansive, a little bit more clinical in both the passing and the final finishing.
Most definitely. I think because Nottingham did come from such a hard run of games last season with players being ill and stuff, they've come straight into this league with a fresh, open mind, a full squad ready to just kick it off and start from the beginning. They've worked out well so far. The team of Adam and Sam have been really well in attack and defence, but they've still got development players with Leighton Gee on the wing as well to bring him in and to develop his play.
Yeah, and another thing to keep harking on about the podcast we recorded is my question as well was about the depth. The 5 players you see present are the 5 players they have registered, so any absentees across the entirety of the season could hurt them, as Ollie Grafton gets a very rare touch out on that wing, very close to Basing balls. That discipline, positionally speaking, that could let them down.
I was speaking to John Langley earlier, who is the Nottinghamshire coach, and he did say that the next national weekend there could be some absences. But here's a chance out for Kieran Wade, and that is an incredible goal. Clinical pass to the wing from Sam Langley, and a shot from Kieran Wade on the front bumper.
Yeah, 5th goal of the season for Kieran Wade, proving a real poacher, and that's what they need. They need someone to put these chances over the line. That's exactly what he's done there. 14.5 minutes played. GBG Saracens 0, Nottinghamshire 2.
Saying that though, GBG Saracens have still got their chins up. They are still looking happy, still smiles on their faces for just being here. It's good to see. It's really nice to see.
I don't think they would have come into this game thinking that they would get points. They need to be realistic about the teams in which they will be able to get draws or wins over, and I don't think Nottinghamshire would ever have been one of them. So being realistic and not setting lofty expectations that they can't achieve.
No, I agree. There's also an element of trying to keep morale and confidence high too with such a young team. You don't know, because there's not that maturity there, if they can hold their emotions intact like a mature player can. Saying that most mature players in the Premiership can't hold their emotions intact, but young players can drop their heads easily.
This sport, as I'm sure you can attest, is just as much of a psychological battle as it is anything technical or tactical, so you're absolutely right to highlight that. And the expectations and the pressures they'll be feeling here will be unlike anything they've experienced up until this point, so it will take an adjustment.
A psychological warfare this game is. It's like chess, mentally and physically.
It is.
Mickelson has come out of goal here, still wearing a goalkeeper's shirt, but trying to push Nottinghamshire out of their own half.
As you can see from that graphic just a second ago, as Adam Langley attempts an effort. Altrincham 3-0 up against Nottingham Forest. Here on Court B, 4 minutes or so left. Nottinghamshire, 2 goals to the good.
Mickelson taking his time, Let's make sure he gets that ball just right, and he does. Great ball there to Ebanks.
Yeah, Kieran Wade with an effort. Yeah, it was just the positioning of Avery Basingbourn that wasn't able to capitalise on that nice weighted pass from Aaron Ebanks.
Sam and Adam Langley a little frustrated with each other then, not being quite in the positions they'd like each other to be in, but still very dangerous attacking three here with Kieran Wade, Sam Langley and Adam Langley.
Adam Langley with possession, flicked back to Sam, over to Kieran Wade. Nice football, saved on the line by Tommy Mickelson. Avery Basingbourn desperately trying to break up those passing lanes between Sam Langley and his wingers. He's doing a good job for the most part.
It's a beautiful flowing passing from Nottinghamshire. It's something that they'd struggled with last season, not being able to flow as nicely as they would like to. But coming into the Championship with a fresh start, they've been able to showcase that nice flowing passing, open wide spaces to be able to work on. But Mickelson is, Basingbourn. The 2-on-1 caused by Basingbourn and Oliver Grafton in favour of Nottinghamshire PFC. Sam Langley plays the ball to Kieran Wade. Wade takes it down the line with Basingbourn. Sam Langley.
Approaching the final minutes, or final few seconds of this first half as Ollie Grafton fires it up the court. Matt Hadfield's probably only had a handful of touches and engagements as Kieran Wade guides it goal bound. The weight, the accuracy, the finish, absolutely fantastic. They created this big triangle. It went by all four players, and Kieran Wade with his 6th goal of the season and Nottinghamshire's 3rd of the fixture.
It was a beautiful curl that Kieran got on that ball. It looked like it was going to go wide, but he just managed to curl it into goal. I don't know if that's the flooring doing that or if that is pure skill, but that was incredible to watch.
Yeah, we're in a really favourable angle, aren't we, in this bottom left-hand corner as you view it on your screens. And yeah, it almost was coming towards us and then spun towards that left-hand post. And you have to say, a very professional performance from Nottinghamshire. You have to give credit to the young defence of GBG Saracens, but they've just been overwhelmed with chances and quality of the former Premiership side looking to return immediately. Thank you to all that are tuning in. To myself and Rosie, we'll be back very shortly for the second half. Hello everyone and welcome back to the second half in this fixture between GBG Saracens and Nottinghamshire in game week 1 of the 25-26 Slater and Gordon Championship, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple, and Rosie Hodgson.
Hello.
Having the pleasure and privilege of watching a fairly dominant professional performance from Nottinghamshire. GBG Saracens just haven't really got out their own half. They've made a substitute at the break, which sees several changes actually, because it looks as if Ollie Grafton now is between the sticks, adorning the goalkeeper jersey, with Tommy Mickelson now in the central role.
And Adam Sevenoaks on the wing.
Yeah, Avery Basinball on one, Aaron Ebanks off, Adam Sevenoaks on. So they're looking to switch things up, which is promising. A change for Nottinghamshire as well. See Sam Langley come off with Leighton G taking responsibility in the centre. So they're managing minutes, which is good to see.
2-on-1 call in favour of GBG Saracens. A little bit of a communication mix-up in the middle of the pitch, I think. Didn't quite catch it, did you?
Tommy Mickelson into Adam Sevenoaks. Probably would have liked to have seen the front bumper back to Mickelson. Just swiping it into that congested area was always going to lead to Leighton G engaging it in the dribble.
Langley. Sevenoaks just tries to play it across the pitch to Basinball, but it's blocked by Langley.
One thing I do like about this Saracen squad is they're obviously a very versatile team with different players being able to operate in different systems and positions on the court.
Definitely, I think because they are so young, there's a lot of flexibility. You can try players out all in different positions, and the more experience these young players get in all these different positions, when they become more mature players and have more experience in the game in years to come, they're going to be one of the most dangerous players in the sport, because they're going to know every position in the back of their hand.
Adam Langley into Leighton G on the edge, looking for Kieran Wade, who's on for his hat-trick. If you're just joining, a 4-goal haul for Kieran Wade in their opener against Hull and East Yorkshire. Matched with a brace here, so 6 goals in 2 games has already put a very early statement out as to his intentions for certain awards and accolades, but I'm sure given the opportunity of replacing individual accolades for a team trophy, a championship winners medal, he would do that in a second. As Leighton G into the player in question, Ollie Grafton, first save he's had to make since he put on that goalkeeper jersey.
Tommy Mickelson trying to deny Leighton G entrance near the second half of their half. Adam Langley trying to keep the ball into play to create an opportunity for Nottinghamshire. There's a kick in for Nottinghamshire PFC.
At the conclusion of game week 1, we will be running a series of award voting processes with the new Swizzles Awards, Team of the Weekend, Player of the Weekend, Unsung Hero of the Weekend, where you can shine a spotlight on the top performers, the players who have made invaluable contributions to their team's success. I'm already looking at this Nottinghamshire side. I can suspect that if they carry on this rich vein of form, they will heavily feature.
2-on-1 in favour of Nottinghamshire PFC. 15 minutes to go of the second half.
Leighton G down to Adam Langley, across the box to Kieran Wade. Ollie Grafton called into a save, just ushers it out for a corner. More of the same from Nottinghamshire, constantly looking to attack. Matt Hadfield just hovering on the centre circle.
Nottinghamshire have been very convincing with their performances so far this season. I know we're only on day one, week one, but they're just so convincing, so confident. It's really inspiring to watch. Tommy Mickelson sticking with that ball. He's entered Nottinghamshire's half.
Yeah, 2 games for Nottinghamshire tomorrow. They play Altrincham at 9:15 before West Bromwich Albion Baggies at 11:35. So a quick turnaround of games tomorrow. But it looks as if they'll be going into them fixtures with some fantastic momentum. GBG Saracens, they play Villa, Rockets, Lions and Manchester United. So when you're looking at opponents, a very tough, demanding opening weekend, they'll be very lucky to come away with points if you're assessing form and expectations.
We are 13 minutes away from the end of the match. If you were Tom and John, the coaches of GBG Saracens, Ryan, what would you have said at half-time to this squad?
It's hard for me to assess because it's the first time watching some of these players in this division. An interesting call to take Aaron Ebanks off, I'll say, because sometimes it needs a little bit of experience and guile to unpick this defence, but it's so hard because this is almost a David versus Goliath in the Championship division. One that will have non-negotiable title aspirations and one that will be looking to get just enough points to see themselves survive for the 26-27 campaign. But I was very encouraged with the pairing of Avery Basingall and Tommy Mickelson. So interesting that they've opted to change that. They will obviously know their players' skill sets better than I do. But a lot of positives once you apply the context.
Most definitely, and I think the GBG Saracens squad has got a lot of flexibility as well with classification, but also where they can play players. For example, this match, Tommy Mickelson was in goal and is now the central defender. A little complication of communication.
Yeah, and this is when you say, what would I say to the squad, to the players, is the positional discipline. Because they're switching that central player, you're going to get that lack of shared understanding and collective chemistry with the wingers and the central players. So 2-on-1s are almost inevitable. So that's something that I would try and instill in the players, is just be disciplined. As Matt Hadfield, lovely contact, but doesn't trouble Tommy Mickelson a great deal.
The power on that ball was insane. It looked effortless, but the power just was like a firework.
Exactly that. He didn't rotate that quickly, but hit it so cleanly and crisply. Again, that's Adam Sevenoaks just being drawn into this central action, and with Tommy Mickelson occupying those areas, they need to communicate between them as to who's going to engage that ball. It would typically have to be Tommy Mickelson because he needs to cover both going forward and backwards. But it's so condensed from Nottinghamshire that it's almost an impossible ask.
Adam Sevenoaks has got a lot of experience in his Arsenal too, obviously playing for Bournemouth in the Championship for many seasons, and now sharing his experience with this young squad. It's going to be quite impressionable and help shape them into players for the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leighton G heading towards goal for Nottinghamshire PFC.
You can see Kieran Wade in the top left-hand corner just waiting to pounce and to capitalise on any loose balls. Might get an opportunity here if it wasn't for that feinted attempt from Adam Langley. It looks as if he was shaping up, and I can think Kieran Wade isn't overly happy with the eventual outcome.
Looked like just...
There was a channel there, there was the space to locate Kieran Wade, but there's maybe a tendency to overplay things and overcomplicate things.
Hesitation.
Leighton G to Kieran Wade, doesn't have the starting position to really capitalise, but does it the second time. Over to Leighton G.
Brilliant goal there.
Just pulled the GBG Saracens defence from one side to the other, and goal scorer turned creator.
Just shows how important it is to collect those rebounded balls and not just let them go and go, I missed the ball. Pick that ball up again, play, carry on, keep the ball moving. And Nottingham are doing that, Nottinghamshire are doing that beautifully.
Yeah, that result of course puts them, it had already, but this result puts them top of the table. 6 points from their 2 games, plus 10 goal difference. Norwich have 2 wins from 2, but they've only amounted a plus 3 goal difference, and I have no question that goal difference could be a deciding factor in several positions across the Slater Gordon Championship standings come season's end.
Yes, Norwich did concede 2 goals today, which will impact them negatively on the tally. I've lost trophies, Premiership trophies before on goal difference. I know how frustrating it can be.
You just go back to certain moments, certain lapses in concentration, certain missed chances that can be so decisive. But the questions I posed of Nottinghamshire in terms of increasing that attacking output, they have silenced me completely with 10 goals from their 2 games. Opportunity for Basie Ball, lovely connection, technique. Doesn't go as far as Adam Sevenoaks at the first phase, but finds its way over eventually. We're talking about goal difference.
Substitution, we've got Leighton G coming off and Samuel Langley coming on.
Looks as if Altrincham have scored their 4th goal of the game.
If you didn't know, guys, Ryan Sipple is quite the Altrincham fan.
I am a big Altrincham fan, there's no question about that. But I'm a big fan of everyone.
Got a kick in, or a free kick, sorry, just outside the edge of the box here for Nottinghamshire PFC. Personally, I would treat this as a goal kick, but Adam Langley took it, and Nottinghamshire have set up as a square, which is a position normally seen in the Premiership, predominantly in teams like West Bromwich Albion, who play as a square.
Tommy Mickelson, as you can see, confirmation of that scoreline, 4-0 to Altrincham. Here on Court B, 4-0 to Nottinghamshire. Capping off game day 1 in serious style. They'll be delighted with their performances, not just their attacking proficiency, but their stability in defence. The fact that Matt Hadfield has had very little to do across their 2 games speaks to the role of the players in front of him, as Sam and Adam Langley combine on that right hand wing. Goes back into the 180, slightly forced that. I don't think there was the need to engage it with the 180.
No, I don't think so. I think could have played it back to Sam there, because Sam was reversing down the line, and Sam could have took it on the back wheel, or even incorporated Matt Hatfield there. We had space and time. Two on one in favour of GBG Saracens. Just Sam Langley and Kieran Wade getting a little too close in the rotation. And it's like Tommy Mickelson is going to be taking the kick.
Mickelson down to Basing ball, closed quickly by Adam Langley. The ricochet falls kindly for Basing ball, but
great communication there from Tommy Mickelson. His first ever Nationals weekend and has already picked up that he needs to communicate with his team. It's brilliant to see.
It's more, he bypassed Adam Langley and then he's met almost immediately by Sam Langley. It's like you're seeing double.
It is. Two on one.
Yeah, in favour of GBG Saracens. Small bits of success, condensing the space. Full time on court A, Altrincham 4-0 victors over Nottingham Forest.
4 minutes left here on court B. Goal kick now from Nottinghamshire PFC. I really hope by the end of the weekend, I'm not sure quite what the fixtures is, but I'd love to see GBG Saracens score a goal.
They scored earlier, didn't they?
No.
Did they not score against Norwich? It was 3-1, wasn't it?
Oh no, they did.
I saw them. I was over here. You was commentating, wasn't you?
I was. Oh my god.
I was commentating on this game, and I saw them score a set piece.
We score another goal. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but in the fullness of time, I think that single goal against Norwich will prove a very good strike, considering their form.
It could cost them. It could in the long run. It could at the title or promotion. Every goal in this game counts. Adam and Sam Langley looking to tee off here. And the back post for Kieran Wade and blocked by Tommy Mickelson. Brilliantly off the line. Adam Langley still has possession of the ball and is knocked out of play for a kick-in for Nottinghamshire PFC. Langley, Wade, Adam Langley over to Sam Langley. Could have left that there for Matt Hadfield, who is now come into play. Mickelson denying Hadfield any entry into the box.
I have to say, I think I've been impressed with Saracens in this second half.
They've turned the pressure up a bit more onto Nottinghamshire and tightened up a bit at the back as well. Bringing Tommy Mickelson out into a central role is more beneficial, I feel.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I think they're going to need a little bit of time to figure out the best positions for their players, because whilst they would have had valuable experience at regional leagues and maybe cup competitions, I don't think anything can quite prepare you for the intensity and quantity of games in the championship. So yeah, managing the squad, rotating, but I agree completely. Tommy Mickelson has looked really good in the centre, and that's a really nice goal for Nottinghamshire. It's a shame really, because the scoreline does read 5-0, comprehensive in its nature, but take nothing away from this collective effort from GBG Saracens.
Nottinghamshire have been sharp and have been clinical when they need to, but Saracens have been there. They have been present. They have been trying to apply that pressure onto them, and it's so inspiring to see a team like Saracens come into the National League and at least turn up and not drop their heads after the first goal goes in. We've got a free kick here now for Nottinghamshire PFC. Langley to the other Langley. And Mickelson nearly scored in his own net then.
Player of the match, Rosie.
Oh, it's difficult. It's really difficult because on one, my heart says Tommy Mickelson, but you can't undermine the efforts that Sam Langley has been putting in this game. He's crafted goal after goal for Kieran Wade, so I think I'm going to have to go for Sam Langley.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think he sets the tempo, sets the expectation, pushes the squad forward. But just as encouraging that if and when he's come off, Leighton G has maintained those standards as Kieran Wade looks to get a late hat-trick. And that will be the last action of the game. GBG Saracens 0, Nottinghamshire 5. So a 6-0 victory earlier, followed up by a 5-0 victory. They comfortably top the table and will be looking to maintain that form going into tomorrow's games. Thank you to all that have tuned in, to myself and Rosie.
Thank you.
You're up next, Rosie, for Baggies versus Hull and East Yorkshire on Court A.
I am. I'm looking forward to that game, actually.
And I've got Teesside Steel versus Manchester City on Court B.
Lovely stuff. Thank you.